Welcome to part 3 of our series, Creating a Database Search Statement. This is part 3, and in this part we're going to cover phrase searching and nesting. Phrase searching is simply the idea of putting quotation marks around multi-word phrases, and in doing so, the computer will have to find those words together. For example, this search, I'm looking for the person, Christopher Wren. So I don't want an article, for example, like this, which has Christopher in the author and Wren in the title. I don't want an article about birds. So what I can do instead to weed out those articles that I really don't want is to simply put my phrase in quotation marks. So putting Christopher Wren in quotation marks means that I will only get articles such as this, in which the two words are definitely together as a phrase. This is just a very easy way to make your results a lot more targeted and exactly what you want very easily. So phrase searching. The other part of this is a function called nesting. And this example, it has Boolean operators, which we've already talked about, alcohol and adolescents or teenagers. Now, if you were to type this into a database, the computer would do the functions in the order that they appear, meaning it would search for all of the articles that contain the words alcohol and adolescence, and you would get the ones that have both. And then it would search and give you articles that just mention teenagers. On their own, nothing about alcohol. Well, obviously that's not what I want, because alcohol and adolescents or teenagers are synonyms. So I want alcohol to apply to both. What I need to do in this case is to put my synonyms in parentheses. And that way, they both apply to alcohol. So whether the article talks about alcohol and adolescents or alcohol and teenagers, I will get the article. So basically nesting is simply the idea of putting parentheses around groups of synonyms. And the advantage to doing it this way is that it will find the keywords regardless of what combination they are used in the article. So for example, I've color-coded the words just so you can, see the groups of synonyms very easily. But if I were looking for something about soccer riots in England, there are three concepts there, right? The sport, the country, and the riots. Now, the U.S. is the only country in the world, basically, that calls it soccer. Everybody else calls it football. So if I'm thinking about how an author might refer to this topic, I should include that word as well. So my first set of parentheses is the idea of the sport. And then Boolean operator, and, because I also want the idea of the country. Again, I have no idea if an author is going to call it England, or refer to them as the British, or the UK, or Great Britain. So I'm going to include all of those in this second parenthesis, because they are all synonyms to me. And notice that I have used the quotation marks inside the parentheses. You can use all of these concepts together or on their own. So just know that. And then the last parenthesis is the idea of riots or violence or hooligan or, whatever word I can think of to express this idea. So doing the search this way means that I do one search and I find the article whether it talks about England's soccer fans running riot or British football hooligans. Did not use the same words in each article, but I found them both with one search without having to guess which combination of keywords the author was going to use. So I hope that's clear, because this is a really helpful technique. So where does that leave us with our example? This is what we're going for, remember? This is our database search statement completed. At this point, we're here. I have taken the database search statement that we did from the last example, in which we had just added the Boolean operators, and we don't have any multi-word phrases here, so quotation marks aren't really an issue. But I did put in the parentheses around the groups of synonyms, so that the computer knows to find one from each set in whatever combination is used. So we're getting there. The last part of this is something called truncation, so come back for part 4, and as always, if you have any questions, please give us a call.